So you've just received a liquid culture syringe and you're not sure what to do next. The very first thing you should do is test the LC syringe on agar. To do so, you would just take the top off the agar plate in either a still air box or in front of a flow hood. You take the top off, squeeze a couple drops, close it. I like to do 2 to 3 plates. What that does is it verifies the liquid culture being clean, and it also gives you a sample of that culture on agar. Second, I'll take one of my no-pour agar plates and do the same thing. Now these are going to colonize a little bit slower, but the great thing about that is you can save this culture for a bit longer than you can on a plate, just because it's going to colonize a little bit slower, and it's the same process. You open it up, squeeze a couple drops, and close it. Now, once you've verified that these cultures are clean in 7 to 10 days, the next best thing is to take a liquid culture expansion jar. And when you take this, you don't have to use the whole syringe. You can use 1 milliliter, you can use a little bit. Just spray this with alcohol, shoot some of the culture in there, and after about 10 to 12 days, it's going to look like that. This one is fully colonized and ready to use. That's going to expand your liquid culture syringe from whether it be a 10 milliliter syringe or like this one, a 60 milliliter, into 600 milliliters of usable culture. Once you've completed that step, you can also go to grain. So you would shoot some of your liquid culture in there. Anywhere from 3 to 10 milliliters is fine, and that bag will colonize in 10 to 12 days. It's always important when you colonize these to inoculate the bag, then loosen the gussets, and make sure the filter, like this one, is not pressed up against the bag. So as you see, this bag is rolled very tight. If I were to inoculate it, not loosen these gussets, it's going to take a long time for it to inoculate. You need some fresh air exchange. That's what this air port is for. So you pull these gussets apart, it'll slowly, lightly fill up with air, and that's going to make it a lot easier. So these are the basic steps that you should follow anytime you get a liquid culture syringe. The reason why testing it is good before going to grain is that way you don't waste your grain. Secondly, when you colonize this plate, when you're testing your liquid culture syringe, you now have a backup of that culture, so you can expand it, you can use it again. You can even take some of this small agar plate, you can chop it up into 4s and just sterilize water in here, drop that plate in there, and now it's a slurry. Or you can use an actual liquid culture expansion kit that has some nutrients in here, and just take a small little wedge, drop it in there. You could take the liquid culture, you can inoculate it in there. But these are the major steps that you should follow anytime you get a liquid culture syringe. This would also be applicable to a spore syringe. However, once you've verified that the spore syringe is clean, I would tend to use the agar, so liquid culture inoculant. It's really not the best idea to use a spore syringe to a liquid culture inoculant or use a spore syringe directly to grain. It's going to take a really long time to colonize.